Welcome, Pamela, to #EVAW.
Thank you very much for having me.
Could you tell us about your journey to becoming the CEO of No More?
Wow, that's an interesting question. I was moved by issues around gender-based violence. I think to do this, your heart has to be broken to be this kind of advocate. And I did everything on the spectrum: frontline services, comms, policy, and all the way to find myself 20 years later, more than I care to admit, as the CEO of No More.
Incredible, absolutely amazing. And we've known each other almost that amount of time, and it's been an absolute pleasure to get to know you, but also to have your support for anyone tuning in right now in this moment. If it wasn't for No More and CPI and Avon, but if it wasn't for you, Pamela, today wouldn't have happened. So a huge thank you to you.
It's a pleasure to work with you and your team.
Great. So why is the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women so important to you?
It is so important because it really, in the personal sense, it marks my career and the reason why I do what I do, right? Which is, trying to eliminate gender-based violence. I had a chance literally 10 days ago to be at where it all started, at the House of the Hermanas Mirabal in the Dominican Republic. And it was another level of understanding why I do what I do, which is trying to, help women raise their voice, fight against violence. So it's, a very interesting journey, but it is important for all of us to have a moment of reflection in this day about the global pandemic that the issue of violence against women is.
Yeah. I mean, I remember all of the work that we did with Patricia Scotland, the Secretary General of the Commonwealth. And we talked a lot about in those days awareness. I mean, awareness of this issue, people finding out about No More, finding out about helplines. I mean, this is crucial, right?
It is. It is. I guess the more that we talk about it, the more then people can look and research, the things that might help others. But I think also the more that the problem with this issue is that it's been silent for too long. So the more that we talk about it, the less acceptable it becomes. It's not acceptable anymore to keep this in your house, to not tell anybody. Now we know that more people are speaking up.
Great. So I can understand why you do the awareness work that you do. Amazing. Talk to us a little bit about No More. For those who don't know about No More, tell us the top sort of 3 facts. What's the mission?
No More is focused on preventing gender-based violence. And the way that we do that is trying to, raise awareness and change culture. One of the ways is through events like this, where we can bring people together, thought leaders. The other way is through grassroots work. We make sure that we have a wide network of grassroots organizations, around 1,800. And we also have localized campaigns or No More chapters. So it is very important to keep grassroots by one side. By other side, provide services. We have the only global directory on domestic and sexual violence. Try to get there to people and give them resources, try to give help. And then finally, we work with corporations who are also trying to find their ways in how to support gender-based violence.
Amazing. So for people who need support, what would you recommend they do? If they're in a situation now which is really difficult, they're seeing this. What's your advice?
Always first try to talk to somebody, right? Make sure that if you're starting to think that you want to maybe leave a relationship or just questioning it, you try to see if there's somebody that supports you, or try to find information. And then finally, look for help. There is a lot of organizations out there. There's hotlines. You can go to our nomoredirectory.org, look for your country, look for what hotlines are there, and try to get professional help. Sometimes victims don't know how bad the problem has become until they talk to a professional.
Yeah. So No More, it's around the world. You've got a global directory. Talk to me about hope. Talk to me, about, you're the CEO, you're dealing with something that's so difficult for so many, so sadly. Where do you get your hope from? What are some of the successes that you've seen at No More that make you think, I am just in the right place and I'm very proud to be doing this?
Well, I'm full of hope. If we don't deal with this issue with hope, then we will probably, get nowhere. But this year we celebrate 50 years of the first shelters ever done, right? So if we think about it, just 50 years ago, a woman didn't have anywhere to go to, no help. And so I came in to do this work where this already existed. All of the support mechanisms were there. So I feel like it's my generational duty to move the banner to another place. And then there will be fantastic people that will take over as we have and move it forward. So it just in the space of 50 years, there's been a lot of progress. So I'm sure the next 50 years will be, will be the same or even better.
And whoever I talk to in this space, and as you know, we've really cared about it for a long time. We've done anything we could at whatever time it was to raise awareness, whether it's at the shows or whatever it might be. I'd love you to talk to me. Whenever I speak to different people, they talk about No More. I mean, it's amazing. We've got Avon's working with us, CPI's working with us. We've done lots of work with the Commonwealth. I mean, it's kind of incredible, really, that you are really there on the front line with so many orgs.
Yes, I think in terms of No More, I think that's our approach, right? We make sure, that we're focusing on prevention of gender-based violence. We don't provide a direct frontline service, so we can take the time to think efficiently about prevention. And that means our work straight with the public or actually with grassroots organizations. How can we enable them to do their work better? How can we help out people who are there out in the front lines? And then, of course, our work with other actors, corporations, films, anybody who wants to talk about this topic, we start working with them and we start seeing where they're at and where can we take them.
That's amazing. Listen, there's a question I want to ask you that is quite important to me. But before I do that, I just want to ask you, we've got to make sure that everyone knows where to go. What's the social media? What's the websites? Where do we go for more information?
Please visit nomore.org, and in our social media platforms is at nomore.org.
Okay, great. Nomore.org. That's where we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, the work you do is so incredible. I'm sort of wondering, how do you look after yourself? I mean, it's tough stuff that you're dealing with, right? Day in, day out. Must be incredibly sad at times. So I'm just interested, how do you keep strong?
Oh, but that's the hardest question you could have asked me. I think the first thing is it's over 20 years doing this work. I've seen sad stories, I've seen also amazing success stories. And those success stories are the ones that keep me going. It was very hard working in a refuge and allowing women to come in who were at that moment, they're most destroyed. Nobody goes into a relationship to end up in a refuge, Jeremy. We all go in full of hope. We give our heart out. We fall in love. And trying to convey that that's a tunnel and that there was light at the end was hard at that point. But just seeing the success stories, how many people reach us and say, I read this, I've left my partner, I'm doing better, or I know how to cope better, or I got help, makes, all the difference. It makes worth all the stresses that this job can take.
Right. I guess, yeah, that makes complete sense, doesn't it? The falls that you have, it's all about getting back up and getting to the top and taking people with you and changing their lives, and it just must give you meaning every single day you wake up.
Resilience, the resilience that victims show in terms of getting up makes whatever we do child play. We need to find in their resilience our strength.
So I've just turned around to see there's a minute left. To anyone out there, what would you like to say to them if they're,
I would like to say that in first place, this is the day of the elimination of violence against women. Please join. A lot of organizations have so many activities. Try to figure out what is happening locally. It starts something that's called 16 days of activism. So there's 16 days to get involved, learn. You don't have to do lots. If you don't know too much about this topic, just start to learn and be ready, because it is very likely that in your lifetime, somebody will come to say to you, this is happening to me. I'm in a relationship and I don't know where this relationship is heading. And you need to be informed to give them that piece of advice, even if it's their hotlines. Let's grab the phone. I'm with you. I believe you. And I think even if it's that minimal, you can do it. You can also volunteer and do so many other things.
Pamela, the CEO of No More, thank you for supporting #EVAW and Peace One Day and making today possible. And we wish you the very best and your incredible team at No More. just keep doing the amazing work you do. Good luck.
Thank you so much, Jeremy.